This is not your normal discussion where we talk about the hard topics uncensored and unfiltered. This is not your normal discussion where we talk about the hard topics uncensored and unfiltered. This is not your normal discussion.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Not Your Normal Discussion. But this is also our second season finale, y'all. And, we have the same crew we had for the last season finale. Yes, honey.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I just looked at it. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, so I am your host, Queen Pedii.
And I'm Nina.
It's your boy Tryst, wishing you peace, love, and bliss.
Your boy Samurai with 2 eyes.
And your new favorite author, J. Allen Winchester, Weaver of Worlds.
Yay! So I'm hoping everybody had a great week. I know that, we missed our episode on last week, but it'll be coming to you guys soon, I promise. What did I do this week? Oh, I had to figure out what I'm doing for my birthday party, like food wise. So,
Happy birthday, by the way.
Huh? Oh, thank you. So, I also took Rampet on a doggy play date. And she had so much fun. And I made these frozen popsicles. They melted though, but they were still good. You said what?
I saw it on, I think you had it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Or Instagram.
Yeah,
I saw them too.
Yeah. I was like, they're so cute. And they were good too. I'm sorry. It's not like completely dog food. It's just strawberry Greek yogurt and peanut butter. So.
Oh, yeah.
You can eat it. Just so people won't be like, is she eating dog treats? Like, no, I'm not eating dog treats. I'm eating dog
My
stuff.
dog treats.
Snacks.
Yeah. Dog snacks. Yeah. Go ahead.
So this weekend, starting Friday, kind of went downhill. My flooring came in and Lowe's did not pull it. So somebody went and purchased 3 of the pallets that I already had paid for. So I ended up taking home only 4, and I'm thinking about returning them and going somewhere else because it kind of like gave me bad vibe about it. And then what else did I do? We were going to do popcorn sales, and then we didn't do that because it started raining really bad. Most of my floor is down. I just need to buy 2 more boards, about 2-3 boards left to put down, and then I can start putting the actual flooring down and fixing my living room to the way I want. So I'm very excited about that. My kids are, Annabelle's trying out for cheerleading today. Leah is, she tried out yesterday for the 1-act play for her school. She was supposed to do the tryouts today, but she's actually joining, she's looking at an opportunity. Pharrell Williams has a new program that he's trying to do, and he's trying to connect kids that have different interests, like cooking, interests that could move them to career. And so Leah likes cooking, so hopefully she gets to be working with a chef.
Oh, that would be cool.
And learning that. So it's called Mighty Dream right now. They've been going back and forth about the name of the program, but so they're going to start out here because Pharrell is from this area.
Yeah.
He actually went to the high school down the street from us, from me and Dayton. He went to Princess Anne High School.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought he was in Norfolk.
No, he went to Virginia. His mom, I think she retired, but she used to work at Great Neck Middle School as a librarian. But anyways, so Leah is going to that program today, and then tonight is the first night of Boy Scouts. So we got scout night today. tonight, and we're gonna be doing different activities to get more kids' interest in our troop. And I just finished getting my huge ass binder from the PTA for Treasury, and just I got a lot of stuff I gotta do right now.
Nice stuff. For me this weekend, y'all know I was upstate. I was dog watching. The family came back, so I chilled with them for a little bit before I finally traveled down yesterday. So I'm still a little tired, but overall this weekend's been good. I'm currently cooking up some food right now for my boy who used to live down the block on the street. He got a place out in Queens now, but he loves my cooking so much, he's coming out to get some food. And they actually asked me to cook for Washington Square Park Mutual Aid again on Friday. So I decided to get a lot of those ingredients for that. But overall, everything's been great.
Well, I'm chilling tomorrow. I leaving on the jet plane. Don't know. Later. Definitely looking excited to this opportunity. Yeah, I just can't wait. I mean, I definitely feel like I'm turning over a new chapter. So
That's good.
You deserve it.
Yes.
And a nice new cut to match.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've definitely gone through hell to get here. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely grateful.
I guess for me, other than the day job, it was a little lighter on delivery, so I wasn't as tired. But I actually reached out to my publisher. For those who might follow my Facebook groups, I have a Dodeca fans page, but I also have a Nature Calls Forest, because I had a goal to publish the first book in Nature Calls by January, and I spoke with my publisher and got a quote yesterday. Yay! So I'm really excited about getting that ball rolling. Hopefully the goal is to submit the manuscript next Monday.
Nice.
We're looking for
proud of you.
You're working hard.
Yes, congratulations.
I'm proud of you.
All right, you guys. So our topics for today are going to be Irish Twitter and Black Twitter banding together against Queen Elizabeth after her passing, how the media portrays witches, and how does it change the perception of how we see witches? Should escorting be decriminalized or made legal? Can Rhode Island Republicans get the Supreme Court to outlaw abortion nationwide? And the outrage over the new Little Mermaid being Black. All right, now a word from our sponsors.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. A to Z Creations is a Black woman-owned business that creates customized items such as rolling trays, clothing, tumblers, glasses, bags, jewelry, and more.
All right, y'all. So over the weekend, or basically on last Thursday, the Queen Elizabeth II finally took her last breath. Fine. Not saying that, no, I'm gonna just be honest. Look, her and her family have ravaged African countries, I believe Spanish countries too, right? No.
I don't know.
No, I think the Kingdom of Spain is a whole different one.
Yeah.
It is whole different. Sorry, my bad. But definitely the African countries. Okay, so yeah, Black and Irish people, they are banding together, and they are we don't care.
Izzy in the box.
Lizzie in the box. Lizzie's in the box. Yo, when I tell y'all, I heard that song, I died. I was no. I'm gonna be honest, I'm super indifferent. I don't care. What has she done for my life? I live
Actually,
in America. I'm sorry. I don't care. They've stolen like a whole bunch of African like artifacts and stuff and won't give it back. No, I'm good. I'm good. Y'all treated Meghan Markle like absolute shit. Made that girl cry before her wedding day. No, I'm good. Y'all can keep it. And you killed Princess Diana. Okay.
did you see all the memes about that?
Oh
How
man.
she weighing on her?
About she go to heaven thinking that she's at the gate of heaven, and
Yeah.
God's like, here,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
here you
And
go.
Diana's like,
Diana just beat the crap out of her. Goes,
yeah. Like, remember you made those paparazzi like chasing. No, but like seriously though, like my condolences to Harry. That's it. That's the only royal I actually care about, to be honest. And it's not because he's dating Meghan Markle. I've actually liked him a little longer than that. I think he's cute. But I also I like red hair. Red hair is cool, okay? But and I just feel like he's been like after he got caught up in that scandal with doing the I think it was either a German costume or like a Nazi costume or something like that, like years ago for Halloween. Like he like has actually shown that he wants to make up for that, you know. So yeah, that's the only one I care about. Condolences to Harry. That's it. And the little grandbabies, because they're innocent. All the grandbabies are innocent. But yeah. Anybody else?
I mean, I definitely have thoughts. I was just looking up when did Trinidad get its independence and when did it leave the Commonwealth?
Yeah.
And like, because I don't know much about Trinidad culture since I wasn't raised that culturally, but that's still my heritage. And Trinidad, it got independence from Britain in 1962, became a republic within the Commonwealth in 1976. And I think it was only just recently that they took the Queen off of their Commonwealth. And there are still like 14 different countries that, even though they quote unquote got their independence, they still have like King Charles now as like its head of state. Like, think about how far reaching that concept of monarchy and just rule and colonial rule is. Like, there's so many, like, we talk about African countries, but also think about so many Indian nations, like India, the whole creation of Pakistan and the schism and how it went, and the way they were just carving up these nations without really any regard for the people living there. It's kind of crazy. And when people are giving all the smoke to the Queen, you know, for a lot of people who like just respect the monarchy, they can be like, oh, why y'all so cruel? Without like realizing, like you said, they still have all these jewels and all these resources that they've taken and have not given back or made any type of reparations for. Like the crown jewels, like one of them is the biggest diamond is like that crown star of Africa, of South Africa, that they took from the people there. Even like when King Charles is being coronated, they're even taking like, I think something called the Stone of Scots or Stone of Destiny, and like to basically still signify his rulership of Scotland and the Scottish people. So there's a reason why the Irish and Scottish and all these people have no love for this, because it's not just a matter of, oh, this happened in the past. These people have nothing to say about all this shit, and
and my thing is, like, I read up on the whole Irish, the famine, the Bloody Sunday. Like, even though I totally do understand that the Queen really doesn't have like much of a say when it comes to like the government and stuff. But you can say something. You can say, sorry, I apologize, something. That's all they were really looking for, is an apology.
At the same time, that's acknowledging that you personally did something wrong. When it's actually
no.
Because a lot
you
of
can easily say, just apologize for what the government did.
But she also was.
But that would have sounded like a two-faced lie. Because if our government came and said, oh, we are sorry for Donald Trump throwing paper towels at Puerto Ricans. Forgive us.
No.
You still gonna be like, no, that's bullshit. He should not have done
But
that.
from what I'm hearing is that they were looking, well, I know a place, someone in Africa is looking for an apology for, one, they didn't even give her reparations for what they said they would give for, I think it was like a rebellion. Oh, I cannot read. I shared it on my Twitter. But also, just an apology is what I'm reading from a lot of tweets and stuff. It's just, we just wanted an apology for the famine. We wanted an apology for Bloody Sunday. That's what it seems like people are looking for. So, I
But
mean, they
she
never
also
got,
does have a set of rules that she has to go by.
and that's fine and all, but you
That's
can also
also-
go against those rules. Ain't shit gonna happen to her. She's not gonna get dethroned. Nothing.
But also,
Yeah, you can't get dethroned for apologizing for something.
But it's not only that she didn't apologize or she just looked the other way. She was also, in the same way that like not Harry, William and Kate Middleton, they recently went on tours like in Jamaica and other countries to like show like, oh, fate of the connection. She similarly went on those type of tours to discourage independence movements that were cropping up in their former colonies. So she also did take an active role in trying to suppress independence. So like that's all that's still on her. Like she may have not been like, oh, I'm just going along with it. But so much of like world history that's fucked up comes from shit where it's like, listen, this is the way the world already is. Even though you literally have the power to like say, I know
just like how the president has the executive power or whatever, the queen does too. She does. Believe it or not.
These people are getting paid off their tax dollars. Millions of dollars every year.
Go ahead.
I'm saying is that because, she's dead and everything, so people finally coming out with all the negative things that she has done.
Ain't finally, we've been saying it. Oh, sorry, it's been said, honey. Trust and believe. I don't know where you've been. Don't anyways me, hon. Don't do it.
She has been in. She has done some good too throughout her life. Just like how it's easy to say bad shit about people that pass away, it's still, you still gotta acknowledge some of the good that she did do, though.
What good?
She was a nurse during the World Wars.
She had to do that. I want something that she didn't have to do.
She didn't have
to.
The royal family is required to do military service.
Males, not females, not women.
She still could, and she chose to do it, right?
Yeah, she chose to do that.
She was not required.
Well, either way, required. The royal family is technically required. Give me a second.
The men are required. The women are not.
Well, okay, she was a nurse. Okay, anything else? Because she's been doing other shit after being a nurse, though. One thing. Is that all we got?
That's the interesting thing about legacy. Like, the thing is very, especially if you live that long, you're living off the people's dime. Like, you could have done good things in your past, but it's also very important to remember, like, I think there could be certain parts where we're gracious to people considering the world they were living in and how it's different from ours. But there's still some reflection that, especially if they've made it all the way to this old age and they know their time is coming and they have a chance to rectify certain things and they don't, that's still on them. Like, you could say,
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
Yeah, like, she's been living off those people's dime for how long? She's been holding on to these crowns how long? And I get, and these jewels and all that for how long? And I get it on one level, like, she was just going along with the way the system is and she tried to do good within the system. But that's kind of what's so limiting about doing good within the system, because all the other evil that's still done to prop up that system, that's what people remember when you're finally gone. It's like the things you didn't challenge versus the little things you did to try and challenge status quo.
Yeah. But anybody else got anything to say?
Well, the only thing I really had to say was I don't understand why the world as a whole, when the British Empire fell, why we're still investing in them.
Mhm.
I don't understand that.
We
That's
should
where
be.
I don't understand. I'm also indifferent. My entire workplace would not shut up about the queen just died. The queen just, I'm like, we don't have a queen.
Yeah, exactly.
Like at Virginia Beach school system, they flew the
But
flag.
aren't y'all Commonwealth? Y'all are still Commonwealth though, right?
Yeah.
That's probably why.
It's just still
Because
crazy
she's
though.
the world leader. That's another reason why.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Virginia, you know, having a moment.
It's because she's she's actually a world leader. So that's why they gave her the respect of doing the half mass.
I still hate it though, because like, for example, Twitter was nuking certain accounts that was going in on the Queen. And then also like people are literally being arrested, either calling out King Charles and his coronation, or even Prince Andrew, you know, who was connected to Jeffrey Epstein and all his shit. So they've been arresting people and nuking Twitter accounts, and like for all this reverence we have for these fucked up systems, like especially for us as Americans, we left the monarchy for a reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It was for the freedom of religion, and there is still not working.
It's not, but listen.
It was more than freedom of religion as well.
Well,
because the British were taxing, they were taxing the tea and everything, which caused the whole Boston Tea Party. So there was a lot more than just the freedom of religion.
They said we're white men with property.
I think Karina was referring to why anybody left England to come to America in the first place.
Is that what
to get away from the She was referring to the freedom to practice our religion as we wanted.
Yeah. Was that what you were referring to, huh?
Yes.
Oh, my bad then. I thought you were referring to why we fought
the fight for independence. Definitely was over taxation. Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, wait, what?
No, like originally the Puritans and the Pilgrims
was it Protestant?
Because church. And I was gonna say the Puritans and the Pilgrims left the Anglican Church because they were telling them how to practice their faith.
Yeah,
and it's a big issue that I've always had with England. This is where I have my whole feelings about how religion is used to manipulate people. I mean, the Catholic Church literally used Catholicism to twist the Scots and the Irish.
Lynn is like,
yeah. The Anglican Church really is like, this is how I want to be a Christian. It's like the first version. It's like one of the versions of I only want to be this much of a Christian. I still want to be able to do whatever I want. And I mean, balls to you for telling the Pope to screw it. But at the same time, they were just as bad.
Yeah. Like the same witch trials. Their slaves couldn't keep their same religions. You know, they had their own way of like, we want freedom. Like even with the fight for independence, I want freedom for me. You're not going to treat me like your other little colonies. Us landowners, we want freedom. Fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
But I get for the family, and even then, mostly for Harry and for Meghan Markle. Those are the only ones I'm like, I have more sympathy for, because William's in line to be king. You know, should Charles up and pop away in a year or two?
There's actually a controversy on that. I wish I didn't know it, but there's.
Oh, go ahead, hit us.
Will may not actually be because about Diana's
here.
No.
Diana fell from grace.
Yeah.
Harry,
okay, I know what you're talking about.
There's the only actual heir.
Well, I mean, William looks like Charles though. So I mean.
The guy she apparently was with at the time looks similarly. Yeah, there was that was the controversy at first.
But I'm pretty sure they've done a DNA test at this point. Like they're not playing.
But remember, they don't want a black queen, so remember they also got rid of Meghan Markle's their whole like listing as like royals with like responsibilities to that.
Well, I think they got their Royal Highness titles back after she died. Yeah. her royal, their royal highness or whatever. Yeah, she for some reason she put that in like into law like right before she died.
That was the one thing. She's like,
Yeah, that's the one thing she said. Okay,
Smart
let me
though.
get my
If
let
you
me
look
give
at
them
the
their stuff
Oprah,
back. Huh?
When she did the interview with Oprah, she
Mhm.
actually said that her and the Queen actually had a good
Good
word.
relation.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that, and she even shared a story about how, like, on a cold night, the Queen shared a blanket with her, and they just talked for a while. So I was like, okay,
man,
maybe
So,
that.
so there. I mean, I think that is nice. That is, but when your granddaughter-in-law is being attacked viciously in the press, and you have every bit of power to say that is not true, why, like, do
But
not post
also,
this again. But she didn't. She didn't. She just continued to let Megan get ridiculed and have the baby called a monkey and all of that. I mean, I know you want to fight for the fact that she's done some good in her life, and I understand that she has done some good, but it doesn't over like
overrule or
that
overcome.
the bad things that she's let happen that she has done though.
Especially
well, at the
for
end of
And I
the day,
get
for
it.
me, I don't care. B, I'm American, not UK, so I don't know all the shit that happens between. Plus, that's between the damn
Them.
the palace and what goes in between them, because half the stuff that she probably did fight for, they could have put in the press, because they really limit what is said with certain things in the press.
Well, when it comes to the press and the royal family members, she can say something she has done in the past. That's what I'm saying. She could have opened her mouth and said, that is not true. No, like she has power, and sadly, they make it seem as if she didn't really have a lot of power, but she can X something off anytime she wanted to. Or say, you know what, let's go ahead and give these artifacts back because these people are saying, hey, this is historical for us. And you've taken it from where it was originally.
So what country would get the artifacts? So they won't
different countries in Africa, wherever it was originated from is where it needs to go back to.
So, and then who would get it from those areas?
They have museums.
They have museums. They can also designate a lot of reparations.
These places in Africa aren't like desolate and don't have museums and stuff. They have beautiful museums actually, and they will just put it in a museum in the originating country where people can go and see it, and that revenue of tourists that want to go see those artifacts can go ahead and go to that country and build up their economy. So that's why it's such a big deal that those artifacts are given back to the countries that they were taken from. So, Glenn, do you have anything that you would like to say to close us out?
No, not much that I don't give a F about.
I mean, hey,
I don't know about.
Look, this is just a trending topic, okay?
Okay, you know me. I don't pay attention. You ain't my friend. I don't know you. I don't give a. People come, people go every day.
Yes, and I understand. But let's go to our commercial break. Oh my God.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today.
All right. So again, me and my storytelling content, I'm always trying to pick your brains on stuff. Something that was really setting on my heart that I was thinking about with the missus is as pagans ourselves, and also we do practice craft. We were talking about those maybe even books has depicted witchcraft and witches and how that has shaped the perception of how people see them. One of the earliest depictions that I can think of is like the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz, and how like only bad witches are ugly. And I'm like, but that didn't make Glinda any better because you threw Dorothy under the bus. Just the way that people saw them and they're like manipulative and things like that. Versus a TV show and a movie franchise from Hallmark of all places called The Good Witch, where we looked at it and we went, "Oh my goodness, Cassie Nightingale, that's an actual witch. Oh my goodness, this is actually what they're like." So I actually had to give props to Hallmark for actually making me sit down and watch almost an entire franchise of theirs. But I wanted to pick your brains, like, how has watching things like this influenced how you perceive them, or how you've seen society and like how viewers see witches, and do you think it's like a negative light, or if there's like a lot of misconceptions?
Oh, I love this. Go ahead, Queen.
Go ahead. No,
go. I love this topic. Partly because I consider myself a warlock, witch, whatever name you want to give it. I definitely think the movies, I hate how Hollywood does sometimes. They completely mess it up, especially for the woman. They give it, it's like for the woman, they give this ugly looking character, you know what I'm saying?
Sexualized.
Like a totally messed up, right. And just like evil is what they put. The men, they kind of don't always go evil, but they go like what's the movie I'm thinking? Harry Potter. They go Harry Potter view. And I think both of those views are on two different scales of the aspect. I mean, as far as the woman, sometimes the women are like actually, I mean, to me, good looking women. Like and it's not always evil. I don't know why people always associate evil to witches. Like some witches, like even if you look into like voodoo and some of that, some of those witches actually did very, very good things for the community and for the people. They were really there. They were doing potions to help people heal and to help people get rid of like negative and bad spirits. So it amazes me how Hollywood takes it, and very rarely, other than how Harry Potter, at least what I've seen, shows the very good aspect of witches and shows the whole side of witches that are not evil per se.
So for me, one of the things that I learned living in this area was witch duck, because I live right next to it. And it actually goes to, if you follow it, past Independence, you can actually find a location where they took, I think her name was Sarah, right? Jaden? Sarah? I think her name was Sarah. And she was, she lived in the forest. She did a lot of herbs and stuff like that. And that's how she healed.
Yes.
And then, but because she was basically a single woman living alone, and she was waiting for her husband to come back from war, they dubbed her as a witch because she's not a doctor. She's using herbs and stuff from her garden so they took her to the witch duck, and they ducked her, and she came back swimming. And she kept doing this constantly, and they jailed her and kept doing it, and they considered her a complete witch because she could swim. Use because she could.
Oh, yeah. So that's a very interesting story. Chelsea's and I are really passionate about it, actually. She got pardoned recently. Yep. The governor pardoned her. And there's a statue of her. There's a statue of her actually that was erected after she was pardoned. But the funny story about that was that she did practice craft, but the reason they really wanted her removed was because she was a landowner. Her father named her on the deed, and she was her dad taught her how to manage money. He taught her how to hunt, how to tend the land.
Smart.
Yes, she was a brilliant woman. And her husband taught her things about tending the farm. She taught him stuff. Their sons, their daughters, literally they were very self-sufficient, and the local male landowners and government were threatened by this intelligent woman. So they tried to accuse her of it. And when they dunked her, not only did she figure a way to loosen the ropes, but when she got out, she swam to the other side, turned around and stared at them, and they were so terrified because they literally were like, wait, nobody gets out. What do we do? And she went, I'm gonna go home.
I love it.
So for a while they tried like discriminating. Yeah, they tried discriminating against her because they actually started thinking, oh my God, she is a witch. Like it actually like almost made things worse, but also it empowered her. And she was just like, what are you gonna do? And the amazing part about the story that you'll probably all love, as a storyteller, I love this. Her house, the only part of her house that is still left is the chimney, because legend states when she died, she was with her family in her kitchen. There is no grave for her because they say she disintegrated and went up the chimney.
What?
Yes. And her sons actually were the ones that were like, yeah, Mom, that's why we didn't bury her. She went up the chimney. Like, it was like, that's the urban legend, is that's what happened, because there's no grave for her.
Yeah.
They might have put her in a grave in the backyard or something.
The family plotted land does have her husband and things like that in it. But according to her sons who were with her, because she outlived her husband.
Dang. Oh, so
according to her sons, they're like, yeah, Mom went up the chimney, and the chimney actually survived intact. Like, it didn't decay. Yeah, that's the urban legend of it.
Wow. But I'll say that, like, I grew up on like Sabrina, the Teenage Witch and stuff. So I always saw them as good, but then like I did know about the Salem witch trials and stuff like that. And it was like, okay, so are they good or are they bad? But it actually made me kind of just go into it more, you know, like witchcraft and Wiccan and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I see them as good. I see them as what they are able to do. Now, me, I have done some spells that were not nice, but the person deserved it. The people deserved it. That's all I got.
I was gonna say, growing up in the church, I definitely didn't have the best view of witches coming up. Like anytime, like I had a girlfriend and she told me, "Oh yeah, I did witchcraft in the past," and there's like red flags on. I was like, "Huh?" But I do think, like for example, The Take, it has a video about the depiction of witches in media. And I think it does raise some really good, interesting points about how more recently you do see more positive, from since Charmed and Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Harry Potter, you see more positive representations of witches and magic, because for a lot of people, like, it's helped with their self-expression, and that concept of women being feared for their use of knowledge and their refusal to just bow down to patriarchal power, like especially you see in the current realm, how like that's kind of needed to all the shit that's going on in the world right now. And for me, I was just recently having a conversation with my roommate before I left for upstate, because they were telling me a story about how this guy who's like an atheist, a white atheist, so you know how white atheists can be, he basically challenged a bunch of witches on Twitter saying, I don't believe in this shit. Let's see if it's real. Text me. And I don't know how it happened, but my roommate told me he ended up dying. And so that got us into a conversation of like,
Wait, who died?
the white atheist who challenged Twitter to like basically hex him.
Damn.
Yeah. Listen, even if I was an atheist, I'm black enough to know you still don't mess with things you don't know. You don't fuck with it, even if you don't believe in it. But yeah, for me, my argument with my roommate was more so that like we kind of have a thing where a lot of people, especially with TikTok, have a lot of access to information, but we don't necessarily have like in the same way, like karate masters or guild masters. We don't really have people who are like the people teaching you the discipline and like what is the purpose for these things and how to only utilize the worst aspects of it in a necessary situation. So you might have people who are just hexing their enemies willy-nilly, and there is that kind of concept of either danger, just like, not for the best. So I do think it's an interesting thing where, like, I do think more of that witchy energy is necessary, especially the world that we're in today. But I do wish there was more actual, like, people who are masters of the shit, like, guiding some of these people in this time period. So it's not just the wild, wild west out here.
Yeah. I mean, I have seen like a lot of people like on TikTok or Witch Talk, and it's like, ooh, yeah, no. Like it is a little amateur. It is.
It can be petty in a dangerous way.
What do you mean by that? I'm confused.
Huh?
What do you mean by that? I'm confused.
Oh, okay. So some people will get on Witch Talk and they really are like super beginners, but they're playing as if they are
advanced.
There we go. So yeah, and they telling people to do certain things, and it's just not coming out great because they don't know what they're doing, and they're just kind of leading people to mess with things that they don't really have a true understanding of yet. Mm-hmm. And it can get you in a lot of trouble or bring bad energy to you. So like with certain things.
First thing you need to learn is the power of 3. Whatever you throw out there will come and hit you back 3 times. That is basic. The second thing, don't do nothing that you don't want other people to do to you. So if you don't want somebody to hex you, don't do it. It's gonna come back at you 3 folds.
Well, know how to protect yourself when it do come back.
Exactly.
But karma will figure it out. So
not always.
Come. It may not
come. I have seen it. I have seen it happen.
Yeah.
That's where I've always been of the mind of, instead of actually going after somebody, when somebody has done me wrong, I have my phrase of, may the full horror of your actions be revealed to you.
Yeah.
And then I walk away and I leave it to the cosmos to do what it wants to do. It's not my business no more.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying that, like,
oh yeah.
I like if people do like really shitty things towards me, like shitty things happen to them. It's not like I'm saying, oh, come on, let's, have something shitty happen. No, it's just a bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's also the thing with a lot of white witches who don't necessarily respect, not to trounce upon certain cultures and just embrace their gods or spirits as their own. And like the consequences they're saying, because there's a lot of white people in hoodoo and other things too that, people are telling them like, listen, it's not your cultural shit. Don't mess with it. And of course they're like, bitch, don't tell me what to do. Magic doesn't erase racism.
Well, that is actually a very interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to discuss with you because that's a whole thing. But the only thing I would say to that is that when it comes to faith reveals itself to you personally. So when you gatekeep like that, you're disservicing your faith.
I mean, yeah,
because that's how it connects you. It connects you the way you perceive it because remember, I grew up in a similar situation to you. I was very Christian, did not have exposure, and yet the moon called me. I heard it. The way that the great mystery was calling me revealed its way that it was meant to. Yeah. And there are certain things that I get worried about in that, which is where I was saying the way that it's depicted in media. Sometimes this can shape perception. Yeah. Which is why I'm very careful about how I depict them in my works. Yeah. And I like to show different cultures too, who follow more of a dodeca or a Greek pantheon, or in the case of like Africa. Do I love the shamanism relations between African shamanism and Native American shamanism? Like I love those totem animals and things like that. Like I've researched all sorts of things like that and how it connects people, which is why I say I love how mythic storytelling connects people. It's incredible how we have so much in common. Which is why I think witchcraft, if you appreciate science, if you appreciate a lot of technological advances, think a witch. We wouldn't have chemistry if not for alchemy. We wouldn't have botany if it weren't for herbalists. We wouldn't have modern medicine, ironically, if it weren't for necromancy. How we perceive the organs and things like that was originally a lot of Chinese necromancers because they studied the inner workings of the body. The Egyptians in the Book of the Dead, they studied how the organs connected. Again, this all came from spirituality, and it's just evolved into, how do you perceive it? We've broken it down. We've taken some of the spirituality out of it, which is fine. You can be objective about it. But I think that when we remember the roots, I think it can bring us together versus tear us apart.
I think there's a similar thing with astrology too. But I think also for you, like, you clearly have a great respect for these faiths and cultures that you look into. And I don't know if everyone who's going to cultural appropriations and just saying, listen, I don't care what you say, I'm gonna do this. I don't know if they're all like having that same intention and same respect for everything.
Could also be that I come from a blended ethnicity. So for me, when I hear somebody yelling cultural appropriation at them, I go, would you like to see my DNA?
You should see mine. Mine got updated.
I know it did. You were telling me.
Have you received that? Glenn, you went, right? Yeah, you went first.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's go to our next commercial break.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today.
And it's your boy Samurai. My topic for today, it's actually one of my favorite conversational pieces, but should escorts be illegal and or discriminalized?
Decriminalized.
I'm my bad. Decriminalized. So said that right. Yes. I'm very, very for the whole thing being decriminalized and made legal. Why? Is I think one, we tend to put let me get this right, Glenn. We tend to put the bad in with the good in. I hate that concept. There is going to be bad with anything. You can drink too much water and it can be bad for you. So there's always a bad in, but I do not think it's right to spoil people's lives that are making a conscious decision to pay for sex on the men's side and the female side. I thought about this before I made this a drink, and I really thought about, am I going to put some personal stuff in here? And I decided I have nothing to hide from. So I have been one that has used escorts. I got very deep into it to where it was kind of addictive. For me, I was at a point in my life where obviously I have a scratch. I'm a man. I wanted to have some fun, but I'm a Cancer. And being a Cancer, I knew that I was very emotional, especially at the time that I was doing. So for me, it was a way that I could still be me, but had kind of a bridge. I knew that there wasn't going to be, I can only go but so far. And if I go so far, she's going to cut it. I wouldn't have to worry about with an interaction with a regular person. You catch your feelings, that she catches her feelings. We as Cancers, not only are we emotional, but we can be pretty persuasive. To where she could think she's hard, she gets with a real Cancer, I'm making her feel like she in love with me. And with escorts, I can have that sexual interaction without having to worry about the feelings part. And it's a dangerous lifestyle for both ends. I wish that I didn't have to worry about, oh man, let me look around the corner. Is there a van with police? Like, why should I have to worry about that when I'm just going to have some fun? And it's a joint effort here. You know, she knows what she's doing. Now, the government stand, and I don't want to take too much time, I can understand money-wise. So I'm like, okay, yes, if you have to tax them, make it a professional, every week or two they go get tested, let's do that. But to make it illegal and put guys and females in jail just because they want to have sex, to me, is outrageous and ridiculous. But let's see what my panel feels.
Have you guys ever heard of the Bunny Ranch?
Yeah.
I have. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On my bucket list.
Well, they are able to, I don't know if everybody in the world knows it or watches our show that knows about it, but it's actually a place where you could actually pay for them to have sex with you and you won't get in trouble. I do not know how they are able to do that, but when I heard about it, I was like, I kind of want to see how they do that. I kind of want to. And when I was younger, because I heard about it when I was a lot younger, I was like, man, I got nothing else to do with my life. I didn't have no kids or anything. I was like, I like sex. Let's go.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it just means something interesting. They seemed very safe about it. That was one of the things that actually attracted me to watching, because it was on like a TV show program.
It was HBO.
No, it was before HBO, because I didn't have HBO when I saw it. But
what?
Yes, I saw.
Y'all know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's the Bunny Ranch, though.
But, I thought it was interesting because they keep their girls healthy. They make sure that everything's, the way it's supposed to be run. They run it like a real, true 100% business. The guys or girls are getting the product they want, which is they want to have sex with a girl, or I think it's only girls there. Anyways, I thought that was really interesting. So I agree, it shouldn't be legal. I mean, it's your body. If you want to go fuck somebody, go. Because at the end of the day, when some people, when they get married, it's for that, I'm gonna have this person to have sex with me. Sometimes a wife be like, I'll give you a blowjob if you give me $100. That's still a transaction. Or hey, take me shopping. I'll do this. It's and it goes both ways. It's not just wife doing that. The guy could be doing that. Hey, honey, I see you doing the dishes. That's sexy. Let me go. So at the end of the day, I feel like sometimes sex is a bargaining chip for certain things or certain rewards. So, and I know the government hates anything that they can't get taxes on. So,
amen. I'm glad you said it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it should definitely be decriminalized and made legal, because Why do we care what other people are doing with their penises and their coochies? Unless they're like, got like HIV or herpes and not saying nothing, then okay, there's an issue. But otherwise, who cares? Like, I don't know why. I know y'all gonna be like, what the fuck? But like, I'm seeing it like the men like that, don't use escort services that are like, running shit. They'll just, oh shit, what the fuck? Oh, so yeah, shit. Okay, 2 seconds, because my brain just was like, okay. But no, basically, it's a way to keep women from like, basically rising, which is probably another reason why they look at Cardi B kind of funny, because like she's literally using her sexuality to make money. I mean, she's not writing her songs, so she's literally using the performance. And even though it's not exactly, escorting, but you can gain a lot of money from doing that, and money equals out the power. Because I mean, I think this is kind of really a reason why it was looked down upon in like ancient times, but yet the people who were like of higher status definitely had concubines and stuff. So it's confusing.
And being that was like especially I know in Asia, it was like an honor to be a concubine, and it gave your family more power, more money, and especially if the female did get pregnant or was the favorite, they got more. So,
but this is the way to keep like women from even achieving status that's like higher than what they already have. Because I mean, look at how they're treating us with the whole abortion thing. Like, they want us to just basically just sit there, be barefoot and pregnant, and not be able to choose whether or not that we want to, like live our lives without a child. Because some people don't want kids, but it's more of, hey, they already don't respect our bodies, so they don't want us to already be like higher up in status and being able to tell them what to do and stuff like that. They don't want to see that. So like, all they're thinking is money is power, and definitely because they can't tax it. Yeah, definitely that.
It is that, and also just like you have been saying, the control aspect of it, where like look at, for example, Wells Fargo cutting off a bunch of bank accounts even recently for people who've been like making money on OnlyFans and been doing it up there. And just the way that like a lot of guys who own strip clubs will exploit their workers and try and keep them on some independent contractorship so they never have to give them benefits. And it's really just whatever you make that you get outside of what you have to give back, to the house. And then with sex work, I think as much as they say they're worried about sex trafficking, literally legalizing it would eliminate a lot of the sex trafficking, potential for it. Because it's a black market, you have sex traffickers out there selling it, versus the women could safely go out there and look after each other and organize things. You could have other people who sell, sex work, and then also it will change the way we talk about sex. It'll change the way we look at relationships. It'll change the way that we talk about what is necessarily, because like Karina was pointing out, or Nia was pointing out, there is also that thing in a lot of relationships where, that exchange, that bargaining is just a part of the underwriting of relationships. But if you have to actually think about, what am I getting into a relationship for besides a partner who I'm going to make kids with and have sex, get consistent sex from, if we actually have to mature our conversations and thought process on sex, it will change how we look at sex work. It'll change how we look at our partners. And it'll change a lot of how we look at our lives. So they don't want
you got to remember, we're mostly a Christian country, so that would be a no-no anyways.
And what's funny, I saw a video not too long ago that was bringing up how a lot of times in the Bible, when it talks about fornication, the word that it actually translates from is prostitution. And so that's on one hand, that's a funny thing, like, oh, you don't want, like, we talk about like, oh, God just wants you to only have sex in marriage, which may or may not be true. But most of the times when the Bible's talking about fornication, it's talking about prostitution. And then also think about the historical context where as much slavery and shit was going on back then. How do we know like a lot of prostitutes didn't come out of people who were enslaved and forced into it? Like we don't know the context in which it's saying not to fuck with that. So there's so many people who are trying to enforce this rigid Christianity today, and not even thinking about the historical context under which these things were written in the first place. And that like the times are different now. And instead of trying to rob people of agency, just give people agency and then try and regulate from there how to keep people safe.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually like a license.
I was actually really intrigued by this topic because I feel like we're kind of in agreement. However, maybe it's because of my paganism, and I've learned certain things about history from that society. More often than not, I mean, there's a reason why it's called one of the oldest professions in the world. From where a lot of cultures from the pagan side of things, that was a form of magic. It was a form of power, and it was empowering for women. So women who did this, ladies of the night, however you want to call them, they were actually considered very powerful women, and anybody who usually tried to bring them down was either a religious person who did not like seeing empowered women. I mean, look at some of the goddesses in ancient times. You have Freya. Freya was literally a goddess of war and sex and fertility and magic, and it was this big thing. Like women, it was perfectly fine. Like if your wife, if you didn't have a wife, heck yeah, they were like, no, this is a part of human nature. It's in us. If this is something that you want to do, go do it. I definitely think that the fact that we criminalize it is because we try to shame ourselves into being ashamed of our urges, which is where I say I believe that if we could learn to understand our bodies better and understand our urges, there might be less of the addiction tendency and more of the fulfillment that comes from sex. Because sex is really it's people connecting to each other. There should be nothing wrong with that. Whether you're strangers, whether you're friends, whether you're lovers, like it's a form of connection that we crave. So I definitely don't see an issue with that. And this is where some of the BDSM community, you've got dominatrixes. They understand, like, yeah, we might not be having sex, but this is a form of connecting, like two people having an intimate moment. And they have whole training where they're like, no, we understand our client. Like we're looking out for our client. Our client is coming to us with a need. That's why prostitution exists. There is a need and they are offering a service. And when so many cultures in the world, this is a legal thing. Like you could just walk down the street and you've got women are just like, hey there, like come on into my business. It's not illegal. I mean, like,
is that Amsterdam? I think Amsterdam got it.
Amsterdam does it. Japan does it. I mean, there's some parts in China that do it. It's Russia. But yeah, but that's an older thing. Like that, the red light district is really old. So I find it very interesting that I think it's really religion that's trying to make us feel ashamed of it, even though most religions say be fruitful and multiply. We're supposed to be going out and doing that. So, which is where I always laugh when people want to say that the apple from the garden was sex, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure when Eve was around that was still happening.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that. If they saw animals doing it, why wouldn't they? Even if we're gonna go to primal stuff. Like
definitely. But we need to go to our next commercial break, sadly. I was loving the conversation, but we do. Yeah. All right.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. A to Z Creations is a Black woman-owned business that creates customized items such as rolling trays, clothing, tumblers, glasses, bags, jewelry, and more.
Hey y'all, for our next topic, we're talking about some of the things that Rhode Island Republicans are actually trying to get away with in consideration to abortion, and how it could affect all of us nationwide. So if you've heard about the 14th Amendment, you probably heard about it back in social studies and how it related to slavery and making all basic natural born and naturalized citizens or people in America citizens. And we've seen, like, for example, in New Mexico, they use Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to actually kick out somebody from office who was at January 6th. But Rhode Island Republicans, they want to go a lot further than that. They want to use the 14th Amendment to say that fetuses should have equal protection as fetal persons under the law to, life, liberty, and all that. And so they're doing this because in 2019, Rhode Island actually codified Roe versus Wade into law. And even though the Republicans got their grand wish that, Roe versus Wade and abortion is going to be a state issue now, that's not enough for them. So they're trying to petition to have a case brought to the Supreme Court that will try and recognize fetal personhood on behalf of unborn zygotes and gametes and all that. And that could result in basically a nationwide ban for abortion, regardless of what the state has actually passed as far as abortion is considered. To me, again, this is one of those things that's like represents the danger of the way that they're playing with our rights and the way the Supreme Court has been set up to basically be this like fascist, Christo nationalist type of organization now, with all the different Supreme Court justices who are basically saying, we don't give a fuck about women's rights. We don't give a damn about gay and LGBT rights. We don't give a damn about none of that. We're gonna go and enforce what we want to enforce. And I think we really need to stand up and like organize against this, because we can't trust our justices to care about the rule of law when their understanding of rule of law is very, we're enforcing God's will, essentially. We're going to tell you what the Bible says and make that American law. So I think we need to really like come together, fucking organize, fucking get people who can be like, even if it's abortion doulas, essentially, and either do that or get your motherfucking, your passport and birth certificate together, because it's not looking good. But what do y'all think?
These people are starting to really like get on my nerves, because once again, they're minding the business that does not pay them. They're also in the business of people's coochies, like, and the uterus is like, I just am tired. I'm tired of saying, no, why can't someone choose to have an abortion or not? Why does it matter to you? Are you going to be adopting that child? Why is this such a fucking issue? Like this issue is just, it's so stagnant to me at this point, because I'm like, look, leave us to our wounds, okay? Leave us to it. Like, we know what we're doing. We've lived with them for however many years and we've had them. Like, you already don't give a fuck about our gynecological health anyway, which is why it's so many different things that's coming up and coming out of the woodworks now of disorders and stuff that they were like, well, we didn't have a lot of research on it. Yeah, because you didn't care. So, but y'all care so fucking much about pieces of fucking cells that don't even have a heart. Okay, they don't have a heart. They don't have a damn soul yet. Okay, and y'all are worried about that, and once again, not worried about the kids who are getting fucking shot and stabbed at fucking school, but y'all worried about what people are doing with their damn uteruses. This is what we're doing. What now? And my thing that really pisses me the fuck off is that there's an abortion medicine that I actually take, and I don't take it for abortion, y'all. I take it because it helps me with my autoimmune disorder. Now, if they ban this nationwide, I can't get my medicine, which means that my biologic medicine that they give me will have a weird effect on me, and that's not going to be good. So I need y'all to really think. This is more than just, you know, the women's uteruses and all that. It's about health. It's about, and at this point, it's actually about males' health too, because they're going to be looking sideways at the males that are picking up methotrexate, because they're going to be thinking, oh, they must be trying to, you know, give it to somebody to have an abortion. Like, this has got to stop. It really has to fucking stop, because I'm tired. I don't want my birth control to be taken away. I don't want my methotrexate to be taken away. Just let us do what we do, and y'all can do what y'all have been doing. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm so over it. Like, why are y'all so focused on pregnancy? Why? Like, fucking weirdos. That they are weird. I'm sorry. They're weird. Go ahead.
It pisses me off because at the end, I don't think it's gonna happen. But at the end of the day, they get pissed off when there's families that need to use state funds in order to take care of themselves, like food stamps. And then you hear from everybody else, oh, look at her using food stamps. She should not open up her legs and had that many kids. And it's like, and then turn around, oh, you
can't get an abortion.
That's bad. Or you must have been an unfit mom if you gave up your child. You must have been a teenage pregnancy. It's like, how, and it makes me as a female feel so bad about myself, because some days I will have my good days where I feel like I'm the greatest mom in the world, superwoman, and other days, like, kids, go feed yourself, please. Just make yourself a sandwich. And I feel really bad. And then, but it's not helping when you have men tell you, because we get it from, each other already bad enough. Now we have men deciding, oh no, not only are you a bad, unfit mom, and you have 5 kids, even though it's with the same man, that's not right. No. You can't have, we don't want you to have a 6th one. You're already taking too much of the government money. But we don't have an abortion either. Oh, that's a life. And it's like, what the fuck? And then the kids, when they're usually in foster care, waiting to get adopted, their mentality gets fucked up. Yeah. They get really bad mental health. Because I knew a girl in high school, and she literally had clothes in her trash bag with her. She didn't know if she was going to get adopted or not, or she was going to even be let inside the house. So she kept almost all her personal items with her at all times because she didn't know. And like, kids would make fun of her because if they didn't let her inside the house, she didn't get to get a shower.
Ooh. And this is a foster home?
Yes. Yeah. Some foster homes are really awful. Some people say they want to be foster parents and only take they'll take as many kids as they can, especially teenagers, because you could, if you kick them out, you could go, oh, she ran away. Instead of a 6-year-old, it looks bad if you call and say, hey, this 6-year-old just ran away. How did they run away? Did you lock up the house? Why are they doing, what's going on in the house? Versus teenagers, she's probably at her friend's house or something or whatever. So that's why, to me, certain things like that, and there are good foster parents. There are a lot of good ones, but you hear more of the horror ones or the one that's personally connected to you. So that's why I say, like, no matter what you do, society here make mothers feel like shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And that's why I was saying, like, a lot of people are saying, oh, don't get the abortion. Okay, well, will you be the foster parent? Will you take care of this child better than I can?
And that's the funny thing too, because it's like, imagine there are situations where kids have to be taken from abusive households, but imagine kids being given up and you paying a foster parent money, the money you could have been paying to the parent themselves to take care of their own child. Usually people are giving up their kids because of economic reasons.
Yeah, and it's just, like I said, it's just starting to annoy me how people think that it's okay. And for the ones that do think that it's okay for, them to just rule over our bodily autonomy, it's just,
that's why
I thought I would never see the day. Like, I'm like, okay, excuse me, Roe versus Wade was back in was it 60s or 70s?
I think 70s.
70s? Yeah. Back in the 70s. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, that's an end all be all. Like, we shouldn't have to worry about whether or not we're going to be, able to get birth control and condoms and abortions if need be. I never thought that I would see the day when they're just like, yeah, no. And all I can think of is like stories of how some people went and got like back alley abortions. Like, I knew a girl that was like, maybe she might have been like 14. And she said she had gotten pregnant by this guy. Well, and she went to New York and got an abortion at somebody's house, not even at a clinic. And she said it was painful. But she knew that at 14, she could not have a child and still be able to go to school and do all that because of whatever circumstances she was going through at that time. I didn't know her at the time of the abortion. But yeah, she like, people have to think about that. I'm just like, they're little kids that get pregnant and they're scared, and you want to make it harder for them to have at least a childhood and some peace in their life. Instead, you want to make them grown, when what you should be doing is looking at the person who impregnated them in the first place So, Glenn, what you got?
Not much for this one, but it's like I keep saying when it comes to this topic, like why it's has to do with a lot with control. I don't think I don't think somebody else should have control of a woman's body but that woman.
Yeah, because we'll figure it out.
Pretty sad. I mean,
Sweet, Jaden.
Yeah.
Well, having walked in two worlds, I remember I was nearly in a situation. I mean, where did Artemis come from? I do remember, my dad was a pro-lifer, but he also was a pro-lifer in that he would find options for people.
Mm-hmm.
I remember telling him why I was pro-choice, because our country was founded on choice. You have the right to make dumb decisions, and you have the right to make smart decisions.
Yeah.
So that's how I felt. And while I'm very happy that my dad was able to find help for girls that ended up in situations, I also know that there are just as many people out there that if my dad, who was a high school ROTC teacher, could do that, instead of worrying about controlling actions, how about we worry about helping people when they've stumbled? Like, isn't that human nature? Like, this isn't even about controlling a woman's body. It's you don't see a human being. We're humans. I don't care what your gender identity is, what your physiology is. Human beings are human beings. And if we don't allow people to be equal, if we don't see them as equal, that's where the problem lies. I mean, where is the Handmaid's Tale? What's the whole moral of the Handmaid's Tale? They're not seeing women. They're seeing baby makers. And that's the whole premise, is we're calling you out. And it disturbs me, but then again, that's also because I've been in that very weird niche, and I'm like, I don't need to be called out, but please call the other people out. But no, I definitely am like, this is ridiculous. This, again, religion. Please stop dictating people's lives when that might not be their faith. Your faith, your spiritual walk is yours and yours alone. We have to stop being mad that we don't share the same faiths. There's how many denominations of Christianity? Like, even Christianity can't get along. Like, if we take that out of it and we just remember your faith is yours, you have to allow somebody else to have it. That boils down to, it's her body, her life to live. You don't live it.
If you help support it, maybe you get an opinion, but
I don't understand why. I don't understand why we have this idea that while yes, we do need to make a better life for the future, they're not making a better life for the future. They're stuck right now thinking that they're stuck in a mindset of their lives. They're not thinking about the future does not belong to you.
Yeah.
Like, it's mostly old people. It's mostly older people who have these thoughts. So I've actually noticed more, like, my mother-in-law's age are they're on the fence on it. They're like, hey, it's not my life.
Yeah.
And it just, as we go, that's where the generations are like, can we just not? Can we just get all of you out of Washington and put the people that are relevant?
Yeah.
I know you feel that one, Tryst. I know you feel that one.
It's true, because half of them can't even, if they reproduce,
Oh God.
Okay, let me tell y'all something I learned in science when I was in school. The older you are, and the guy's sperm is, can I say sperm? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's scientifically meets the
Yeah.
egg, and they reproduce and create a child. More than likely, that child will have some kind of mental disorder.
Mm-hmm.
So
increments like
please don't
45 or something.
reproduce, and please just get out of the office. If you can't reproduce a
Yeah.
non-mental child like that, please don't say nothing. And if
Yeah.
you have had your girlfriends or side pieces have abortions, you got no say.
Yeah.
Get out of office. Period.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I knew about that because like there's that saying of how old men have worms. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I think it's something about the vitamins or something that's in the sperm like decreases.
Oh, is it the proteins?
I think
Yeah,
so.
there we go. Proteins.
Proteins in the DNA, they start breaking down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
there's
that's
a lot
why,
of
like a lot of times, older men, you know, breeding with younger women. I know I couldn't figure out. Look, let me have
No,
this.
you're right. That is the right word. That's
I mean,
the right
they are
word.
breeding. Yeah. So,
especially with the mechanics and Elon Musk.
you know, they're wondering why the kids are coming out with autism and like stuff like that. Yeah.
But don't forget, some of the females do want to get pregnant by older guys because of the ching ching.
Well, you know what? They gonna have to cha-ching and have a child that may or may not have special needs. So, cha-ching that. Nobody plans on having special needs children, though. Like, you know.
No.
I can tell
So
you that
that's
for
why you
sure.
have to be like
Yeah,
super
two of them.
careful. Yeah, like you just gotta be careful. That's
Be
it.
careful, and also like if you like, there's a thing I saw on Tumblr where if you would be afraid to have a gay child, a special needs child, you know, any of these type of things, you probably shouldn't be having children.
Yeah.
Because you're not even mentally equipped for those possibilities that could very rarely happen. And a lot of those people who are pushing this Christian narrative, you know, they would be the same ones to persecute their Christian children or throw them out the house. Or, you know.
But, hold on. We have less than a minute, so let's go to commercial break. Sorry.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. A to Z Creations is a Black woman-owned business that creates customized items such as rolling trays, clothing, tumblers, glasses, bags, jewelry, and more.
Hey y'all, welcome back. So this week my topic is the outcry of the Little Mermaid being black, the live action being black. So what they're complaining about is that Hollywood is taking yet another white redhead character and turning her black. Hailey Bailey. She's 19 years old. She's an R&B singer, and a lot of people are upset because she's black, and the Little Mermaid, the cartoon, is white, and always been portrayed as white. So actually, Disney said a couple of things about it, but one of the things they were talking about is how the guy who wrote The Little Mermaid, he's from Denmark, and they said that in Denmark there are black people that have red hair, and I can actually contest to that because I actually have some Danish in me, and before I dyed my hair, you can actually see a lot of the red, especially if I've been out running, playing, getting a lot of sun. So I would look a lot darker, and my hair would look a lot redder. That's where I got one of my nicknames, Pebbles, from. So what they were saying was that people need to stop complaining because there are a lot of black with red hair. And when I was speaking to Jaden about it, my first thing that came to my head was, which is now changed a little bit, is that I understand why they're upset that she's not white. Down in the middle of the bottom of the ocean, there's not sunlight, so they can't have the sun change the melatonin to black. And that is how I came as, from the science view. But not only that, but a lot of the sea creatures, if you actually look at a lot of the stories or videos about the creatures that live down in the deep, a lot of them are actually see-through because of the fact that they don't get no sunlight. And you can see a lot of the chemicals reactions that's in their veins that keeps them being able to be that low. So you got some of them that has that dangling crazy light in front of, because of that. So from one point of view, I see where it's like, okay, I understand why you guys, not as a racist view, but I can understand, yes, they don't get enough sunlight. That's where my head went to. But then when Disney was talking about, hey, there's Danish people that are actually black with red hair, and that's where they're coming from, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I'm gonna read you what Disney wrote. They use Freeform account on the Instagram. It says, yes, the original author of The Little Mermaid was Danish. Ariel is a mermaid. She lives underwater in an underwater kingdom in international waters and can legit swim wherever she wants, even though that often upsets King Triton, absolute zitty. But the sake of the argument, let's say that Ariel too is Danish. Danish mermaids can be black because Danish people can be black. Ariel can sneak up to the surface at any time with her pals, Scuttle and Jamaican crab. Sorry, Sebastian. The Jamaican crab, Sebastian. Sorry, flounder, and keep the bronze base tight. Black Danish people and thus more folks can also genitally have red hair, but spoiler alert, bring it back to the top. The character of Ariel is a work of fiction. So after all this is said and done, and you still cannot get past the idea that choosing the incredible, sustainable, highly talented, gorgeous Halle Bailey is another thing other than the inspired casting that it is because she doesn't look like the cartoon one. Oh boy, do I have some news for you about you. So basically, Disney's trying to call out, like, if you still have issues after this point of view, you might want to look in the mirror. You're racist. And I love that because Disney we don't really hear a lot about Disney actually protecting or speaking out about certain things. So for them to speak out like this, I really enjoyed it. And made me very happy. So, but like I said, I'm on the fence either way. like I said, for me, scientifically, I could see, white, but at the same time, I can see the black because of the way they told it. So if they tell it like that in the beforehand, or people actually know about that, and then it sounds a lot better. So what y'all think about the outcry?
I swear to God, people are just weird. It is an animated cartoon, a fairy tale. It's not historical. Like, chill out. Now, I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, when y'all were mad about white people playing Egyptians, yeah, because Egyptians were never black. I mean, were never white. I'm sorry, they were never white. They were black.
Not all
Actually,
Egyptians.
that is inaccurate. They were Greek.
I'm talking about ancient Egyptians.
They were still Greek. They were still Greek
before they even got there. No.
Middle Eastern. Literally, it's Northern Africa. Most of Egypt was involved in Mediterranean.
So, okay.
There's some black
So this is the thing. They what?
Yeah. I mean,
no. What I'm saying is like not Cleopatra. Let's not do Cleopatra, but like Ramses and stuff like that. He was black. So when they have like this white man that is not even like, Egyptian at all, doesn't even look ethnic, but just a white person playing someone who should be black. Yeah, I like, I can see why black people are mad, but like, this is a fairy tale. This is a story somebody made up out of their head. And we really aren't getting the actual Little Mermaid story. Like, I don't get it. I do not. Like, something is wrong with people. It's like, it's okay for y'all to whitewash other like shows and movies and stuff like that and characters. But as soon as they're like, oh, let's make this fictional ass character black, now it's an issue. Chill out, y'all. Like, I've seen some real derogatory ass things being said about her. Like, it was, it's just a movie. It's just a movie.
Yeah. For me, what I find interesting is I forgot this was going to even happen, just because, I was there when they first announced they were going to cast Chloe Bailey in the first place. So when all the racism happened there,
Haley,
yeah. But when they announced all of that, then I, already was like, oh, okay. I thought we got the racism out of our system. But, white people don't ever seem to complain when there's the whitewashing of Ghost in the Shell, the Avatar franchise, literally Goku, Evolution, anything. They, in fact, will say, actually, these Japanese characters look white, so portray them white. And they will fight for the white representation. But when they change one character in a Disney movie, mind you, they were going to have to change someone. They weren't going to be able to get away with having the one black character singing Jamaican songs in a Jamaican accent and talking in a Jamaican accent. They weren't going to be able to get away with doing Just Sebastian as the only black character again. So they were going to have to change a character with a face. And so that was either going to be Ariel or that was going to be the Prince. And they would have probably had a problem with that too.
Yeah.
And so, like, at the end of the day, they wanted to get the, is it Haley? They're going to want to get her in Disney in something so that they can have her for other movies. And this was the property where they're like, yo, with your voice, this is who you should play in Little Mermaid. That's the whole reason they did this. Like, yes, Disney's being a corporation, but at the same time, they were going to change it so that black people would want to watch this movie. And instead of being like, all right, you keep your little white fairy tales. So who are they going to change? It made the most sense for it to be Ariel at the end of the day. Is he going to be Ariel or Ursula? That was it. That's all they had.
Yeah.
They made Ursula black before when they did the live action, the musical
The musical.
on ABC. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was good.
Yeah. But see, but you know what? That Ariel was actually a Latina. And nobody batted an eye. And she got, had the Party City wig and everything on. And I'm just like, but as soon as she's black, it's an issue. Well, the girl who did it for the musical wasn't white. So, or is it because she looked white?
It always helps. Hollywood does have a biracial and light skin bias. The only time they ever cast dark skin is British when they're casting someone British.
But yeah, I don't. Go ahead. Anybody else want to go?
People are funny.
Mm-hmm.
So to Haley, I know you're probably going through a lot. If you do hear this, don't quit. Keep it going. I hope you do an awesome job. I'm definitely gonna watch the movie. To everybody else, y'all need to stop being in your. It's ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. We're all people. We all bleed the same blood. We all go to the same doctor. If we don't stop getting over this race thing and always want to pull the race card and always want to be black and white, like I hate it. I hate it. We all bleed the same blood. Does it really matter? Whether it was fiction or based off a real movie. Who gives a fuck? You bleed just like me. You go to the same doctors just like me. Get over yourself. And I'm glad Disney stood up and woke what they woke. I'm so glad Disney did that. Now you really need to look in the mirror. Get over yourself.
Yeah.
I'm out.
He said, that's all. That's it. That's all.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know why people care so much. Like, I don't care.
I get why they care, because they hate change. It's just, again, unless you wanted this, like, even the movies they love, like Elvis and Top Gun, still feature, a number of black people in their cast. They were going to cast someone as black, because again, it wouldn't look right to have the one crab speaking, in a black dialect, and then not having any actual on-screen black representation. So it really was going to come down to the prince, Triton, and his family. And in case if you're going to change,
I'm wondering if Triton is going to be black.
I don't
know.
No,
he's Latino.
He is okay.
Yeah, he's Latino.
So like the Brandy Cinderella with it.
Okay,
I don't know, because Selena is black and is in it.
So the queen's alive.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know what they're doing with that. Yeah.
That don't make sense.
This is where I have feelings. Disney does speak out on stuff. Now, here's the problem I have with Disney. Disney has made a habit of a small group of people will do something, and then they generalize, and to anybody who says something, they immediately attack, and it's used to deflect criticism. And people who will just be making a criticism, they will throw that label of racism. And that bothers me. Now, do I care about The Little Mermaid? Absolutely freaking not. Because I did not. The only thing I liked about The Little Mermaid as a kid was I got to see a mermaid. And I liked mermaids from myth and lore.
Yes.
And I got to see a mermaid movie. Did I like Ariel? Not a bit.
She doesn't talk.
I felt bad for Eric because everybody's over here like, oh, Ariel got away. I was like, can we talk about how you robbed Eric of agency? The problem. This whole movie's just a problem. Then again, the critics said the same thing when the cartoon came out, so it is what it is. I was not all that hyped about, oh, she's black. I'm like, I don't care. I saw Cinderella with Brandy in it, and I loved it. But then again, I did theater. In theater, the suspension of belief is there. Now, in certain cases where you're trying to be more culturally accurate, where you've got like the whole thing that's going on with the Rings of Power right now, I understand where they're coming from, because Tolkien actually wrote this to be a time before immigration had really taken hold yet. And Third Age is when immigration actually is really starting. Like, people are crossing borders and they're starting to do stuff. The First and Second Age are mostly not human anyway. So these entities are not human. They don't have our same like evolutionary melanin traits. But for some reason, Rings of Power is writing them as humans, which is completely stripping them of what they are. In the case of The Little Mermaid, you're right, Karina. She's a mermaid. The original story, she has green skin. Like, what? Like, because Hans Christian Andersen is one of my favorite authors. He actually wrote The Little Mermaid as an allegory to a man he was attracted to. They didn't understand. And was trying to get the message through to him, and he was forced to watch this man fall for a woman. And it hurt. That's why he wrote The Little Mermaid. Like, it hurt him so badly he wrote this story. So when you know the full scope of events, The Little Mermaid is already like,
yeah, it's a little wild.
Let it be.
Yeah.
Let it be. But when it comes to, if you're going to be doing a historically accurate or something along the lines of like pre-established characters, and then you change a character, I can see where people get upset. Now I see where some parents and children are weirded out because Ariel, now imagine a 5-year-old who grew up watching a VHS of The Little Mermaid. And now they're seeing this live action there. I'll be like, who's that? Because it doesn't look like Ariel. You're going to go to the park. Ariel's still going to look like Ariel from the cartoon. Yeah. This is where I go, I don't mind the movie, but how are you explaining this in the Magic Kingdom? Why are you doing this?
I don't think they put like the live action ones in the Magic. I don't think they go into like the Magic Kingdom or anything. I think it actually stays so, the characters. Yeah.
But these are family films. So you're taking kids who this is what they see, and now they're going to go see this, and now there's just conversations and confusion, and they're like they don't understand. Now I understand that perspective. Again, the movie, we as adults can appreciate an actor and their talent. But I can see where these movies were made to entertain kids, but they're using these live actions with messages in them that are not for kids.
Well,
so if we're going to do a live action adaptation, I really wish you wouldn't stick to the original cartoon. I wish you'd go to the source material and you'd bring that up, because you're just copying and pasting and it doesn't have the same soul.
And
like,
you know
I
what?
would have loved to see The Little Mermaid from the original source material.
Yeah. Oh man,
awesome
that would be a horror movie.
That's an awesome fair, like grim fairy tale.
Yeah,
definitely. It's really good.
Oh yeah,
like,
I know.
It actually has a decent ending.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. But I know. Oh, sorry. Hold up, real quick. I do believe that from the pictures they had on set, I think the reason they're really making her black is because it's like Jamaica. Because from what I saw, it was very islandy. It wasn't Denmark.
They did reference to stuff like that before.
It definitely was like, it looked like Jamaica. And I believe that's where they're going to set it.
I was always confused by the cartoon anyway, because a lot of the architecture looked like the islands around Italy. And
don't forget the penis.
Atlantis is a
the penis.
Triton. Like, I was always confused by the car. This is where I was like, well, as a kid, I'm going, Triton is Poseidon's son. The Triton is a Greek weapon. Why is this in northern Like, why is this Northern Europe? Like, I didn't understand where they were trying to set that up. And
Yeah.
it's also warmer climate. Denmark's not that warm.
Yeah. That's what
It's Mediterranean.
But they're
which
not.
I always
They're
was like,
international waters.
Well, she
I don't
internationally
understand
swam her ass to
where
Jamaica
they-
for this movie, okay? Uh-oh. Are you frozen, Jaden? I think he's frozen.
Stop.
Okay,
Oh,
there you go. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but you
Okay.
froze when you were talking. Oh, go ahead.
So my last thing before we try to hurry up and close this subject
Yeah.
is people need to stop because what you're because of this children's movie, what you're teaching kids is that it's the same old thing. It's not black is not okay and white is not okay, because what's going to happen is that right now we're having different races fighting each other over a damn movie, and
Thank
the kids
you.
are seeing that. So suck it up, shut your mouth. If it's not going to be positive for the next generation, shut up.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
did want to say
Like,
one
we're
thing.
fighting over a movie.
Yeah, but that happens. But I did want to say, in relation to Find Some Movie, something Jada had said earlier about Disney does like to use the one point where they're right, and then slam everyone who's criticizing what they're doing as if they're all the racist people, or they're all the people who are only focused on race, or something.
Well, I mean, the only comments that I've been seeing is the people saying Little Mermaid shouldn't be black, mermaids aren't black, or black, or just saying that she's ghetto.
I'm sorry, but Barbie just dropped a movie on Netflix that has Barbie from Brooklyn, and they have Barbie from Malibu, both being damn mermaids. Different color. What's black and what's white, so shut up.
There we go. See, even Barbie.
But my thing I'm saying is not yet for Little Mermaid, because the movie hasn't come out yet, but more so look at the way the hate, but also how they treated the hate with like Star Wars or Captain Marvel. Instead of the people who are being critical of the movie for good reasons being listened to, they try to make them also be associated with the people who are just being like sexist and everything like that against like the person who played Rose or the person who played Ray or the person who was playing Captain Marvel, Brie Larson. And it's like they do have it where a lot of their properties now are facing criticism for having very bad stories and bad story writing and dialogue, but they're trying to flat everything as, oh, it's just racist or it's just sexist. And you're only empowering them more by using that as defense so flat.
I don't know. I just wish they would just like drop this whole thing about Ariel being black. Ariel was Latina too.
I hope the movie is great so that it doesn't matter.
Yo, I saw a clip from the test screening. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. It's gonna be good.
I hope so.
And that was just from like I saw the rest of the Part of Your World
the song,
clip. Yeah. Oh my God. She tore it up already in the beginning. She tore it the fuck up. So yes, y'all, go see the movie. The movie is gonna be good. I already seen a little bit of it. It's good. She did good. But if y'all want to see that clip, you can go on Twitter. I can't hear you, honey.
Disney Plus. If you go to Disney Plus, go to, I think it's like D362, something like that.
Yeah.
They show all the new stuff that's coming out, and they includes a clip of the Ariel with Haley Bailey singing Part of Your World.
Yeah, that's a teaser trailer, but I saw past, when she says world, there's a longer clip, and it's the beginning of the movie, and you can hear everybody just like screaming and just like applauding because she did such a good job. She really did. And I'm like, I cannot wait. I already told our editor that we're going to see The Little Mermaid, okay? He doesn't really care for The Little Mermaid, but I do. But okay, y'all, let's go to our next commercial break.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. A to Z Creations is a Black woman-owned business that creates customized items such as rolling trays, clothing, tumblers, glasses, bags, jewelry, and more.
All right, you guys, it's time for promotions. So, as you guys know, I am still doing my shoe line, Queen Pedii. So, I need 7 pre-orders before anything goes out. Come on, you guys, help me with my campaign. I'm also here to promote Boxy, a home decor subscription service that ships beautiful items once a month to your home. If you hate going to the store and not being able to decide on what to get out of all the choices, then this is definitely the subscription box for you. Use my code 10 off Queen PD. That's also linked below in the description box to get $10 off of your first box. Next, I want to promote my book, A Puppy Journey, Renpet's World. It's about my emotional support animal and how she saw the world through her eyes. You can purchase it on Amazon for Kindle. And last, I want to promote my blog, Queen PD Writes. You can find articles, craft videos, reviews, and more.
Hey y'all, it's Nina. So today I'm gonna promote my Mary Kay business. We just got a Mary Kay beauty box, and inside the box, this is actually the box, and it comes just like this. You get the charcoal mask, which is really good in taking out blackheads and any kind of imperfections that you got in your pores. Then come with the mascara, comes with a liquid eyeliner, some eye patches, which I love. They're very hydrating. And it also comes with a little book to let you know what's in there. And it comes with a lipstick. So just hit me up. Let me know. It's really cute, especially for the holidays. And we do have our holiday books out. So just DM me and I could actually send one out to you.
Hey, y'all, it's your boy Tryst. And over the break that we're going to be taking, I'll be still helping with Believe New York with Washington Square Park Mutual Aid. I'm actually going back to help cooking meals with them on Fridays. And also near me, we'll still be working with Tompkins Mutual Aid, giving out meals on Sundays. So if you want to support, hit up the Cashapps and Venmos of these organizations, follow them on Instagram. And if you're in the area, come and join, or put on people who live in the area to come join and make a difference. And then also, I'm still working on my YouTube channel, Holy Baloney Jabronis. And I got some interesting videos coming up for y'all. I'm working on Def Noodles one. He got another roast coming up. And they've been just spiraling out of control. So be on the lookout for that. And then also, something I want to do to the channel is do more movie reviews and even talk about the things that I would maybe change to maybe give a different flair to how the story would have played out. And the first one I'm starting with is Rent. So be on the lookout for that. Like and subscribe and come join us.
It's your boy Samurai with 2 eyes. And I got another short poem for you. I love switching it up on y'all. And it go a little something like this. Y'all ready?
Mm.
I have two eyes because it's natural and spiritual. Seeing both ways, seeing things that most people don't see. See, when I go outside, I see all the natural, but I still feel the energies. I see the fire, I see the turmoil, I see the devils on the corner along with the angels fighting against themselves to pull for the strengths of people's souls. I'm telling you, it's time to wake up because this is happening right on our feet. And we don't even see it, living daily lives and not even batting the eye. We don't see it, but it's happening in front of us, the spiritual warfare. I hope you feel this energy inside this poem, and please see it before it's too late.
Alrighty, to all the adventurers out there, I am J. Allen Winchester with Worlds. I want to promote. This is where I have my mythic storytelling content and my writer's journey coaching and things like that, where I help authors who write fantasy and adventure, trying to help you get either back on your feet or just figure out what you're doing. So my Patreon, you can find me, J. Allen Winchester, is where you have my mythic storytelling videos, and I do some readings from my works. I also will be posting updates on publication, circulation with Artemis, which is my debut novel that you can find on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Scribd. I'm really needing reviews because I can't get cross-referenced with other books, so you can be like, hey, if you like this book, you'll like this book. I need at least like 50 reviews on these platforms. So I need all the reviews I can get. And if you're looking for an epic levels fantasy story that's a short, quick read, I highly recommend checking out Artemis. It is a Greek mythology epic. I designed it to be the next Greek of it that way. So help me out in that front. I also want to make sure I promote on my Patreon for my third tier. I have a service called the Imaginary Boxes, where I send you a short story every month, along with some little things that relate back to the story, the series that I've been writing. I could not put everything into the books. So I have all these adventures that I wanted to write about, and I can finally do that for you in these monthly boxes. If you subscribe to my Patreon, it will charge at the beginning of the month, and then you'll be able to get that month's boxes. Between the 1st and the 5th is usually when you can augment that. And then by the 15th, I will be shipping them out to you. So again, I'm here on my Patreon. You can find me with J. Allen Winchester. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, if you want to find any of my content as well under my pen name. The last thing I also want to mention is Feywild Apothecary is my wife's essential oil and aromatherapy business. Her website is where I will be posting my books when they come in. So keep your eyes open for feywildapothecary.com. Also, if you're looking for some kind of aromatherapy grade essential oils, whether it's jewelry or just some kind of a remedy, reach out to her. She's actually getting her certification for medical therapy purposes. So feel free to reach out to her, DM her on her Facebook page, which is Feywild Apothecary. We'll be working together in tandem to make our brand grow together.
All right, so thank you guys for tuning in for this season. I hope you guys enjoyed us, and we've enjoyed talking to you guys on the after show. And you guys check out our Patreon, check out the Discord, our Facebook, our socials. It's all in the link tree, you guys. All right, so we'll see you guys in the next one.
Next season. Woo!
This is not your normal session.